This photo is where our elementary children are going to school. We had a building, however, since the earthquakes of April and May in Nepal of 2015, they haven't had a building. And our children in a rural village are still testing at the top 10% of Nepal. Rural village tells you that they usually do not get superior education to be in that top 10%. One of the things our children do is they have peace classes, of which these peace flags are from one of the times I was there in Nepal, and they get to create them and bring them home to me, which I appreciate because I know that they're sending us good blessings, and then we make them here and send them to them. Now, some of the other things that we've been doing since the earthquake is right after the quakes, mosquito time arrived, monsoon season. We passed out over 32,000 nets sufficient to cover that many people. And that provided protection from dengue fever, malaria, and the Zika, and there are other things that mosquitoes bring aside from that buzzing noise that they have. So we've been boots on the ground within 3 days following the April 26th earthquake. Here are some children of a previous trip way back when, and they're little orphans. And an orphan in the countries of Southeast Asia would indicate one parent. And we help the mothers particularly to have an income so that they can provide for their children and for their families. So a lot of our work primarily is with single women because women have no opportunities in Nepal at all. It's pretty disgusting, but we're very deliberate with what we're trying to reverse and keep better. What I have been known for is providing goats, which give an income to the women. And not only with 2 pregnant goats, we give them microfinancing. That means they can borrow small amounts of money to start a business. Their husbands cannot borrow the money. However, the husbands are allowed to go through their wives to borrow the money at a low interest rate of like 10%. At the time we began our program, it was 185% in the rural areas to get an agricultural loan. Can you imagine that? Anyhow, they're at 10% loans, and they do not pay us anything. They get to keep the money in their own groups, and eventually they pay dividends when they have enough money to do so. So we're very proud of it. Following our very first trip in Nepal, they were celebrating the fact that I was leaving. I'm sure they were glad. And these were the actual real homes that they did have. These homes no longer stand. They were all destroyed by the earthquake. It was hugely devastating. But we were dancing, and they were putting malas on me, around my neck. And these malas are like a Hawaiian leg, but they were made out of flowers that I didn't know could be made into one. And I had so many that the people were coming and squashing them down so that they could add more to my neck, which was very cute. They were adorable. And this is some of the temporary housing that people are living in. They're literally tents at best. And you can see that the small child has no diaper. The mother's got to be very aware of what time it is and what's happening with that child. But they have an emergency light here. So it was severe in Nepal before the earthquakes. It has worsened, and that's hard to imagine. After the earthquakes, 5 months later, an embargo took place by India. India supplies everything to that country of Nepal: cooking fuel, vehicle fuel, and so on. And here's a picture of actual devastation on buildings going on. And this is in a village called Wojatar. It is the main village I go into because of the relationship that I have with the young man that I work with over there, Rabindra Satola. I call him Rabin. Obviously, I can't speak his name well. That's why. But these homes were just destroyed, and these are the places that I've had the privilege of living in. And they're not like how we live. But the good thing is, following the earthquake, before the embargo, we were able to collaborate with one of the famous musicians and arts persons in Nepal. He's also an actor, and he built 20 homes that are models, and we have the permits to build anywhere, but at a cost, again, of about $10,000, with a pen for goats and buffalo, maybe cows, chickens. That's a lot of money. So $170 million is approximately what it would cost to provide everyone with a home. Naturally, we don't need to do that either by collaboration or otherwise. There has to be participation with the villagers so that we can keep them healthy. If you keep people on the handout, they will never stand up. And we do not have an interest in supplying them for lifetime with everything. We want to supply them with the interest and the passion to take on their own lives and be really happy in their lives and doing well. Just for some fun, on my original trips, I would stop at a tea shop before going into a village. And this was a table where I was served tea. They have learned that I like 2 cups of tea. And these are 2 little girls that are twins, and they have lots of makeup on their eyes, and that keeps the evil spirits away. And I've been so privileged to watch these young girls grow up to beautiful women. I don't know what their caste is, because if it isn't stapled on their heads, I just wouldn't know. But they're adorable, and they speak a little bit of English, so it makes it real fun for me to go, and I try to take pictures of them while I'm there. And here is some of the actual goat work, and I was inspecting this woman's goats in an area called Palanchok, near a big monastery called Noma Buddha, which is where Buddha was supposed to have been born. So Buddha was born in Nepal. I was doing another inspection, and this woman's home is a home that I stay in.